Hey, Green Machine friends and fans of fun. We had an amazing week. It was an awesome week. We got a new shrink wrap machine, as evidenced by me shrink wrapping the remote, the scissors, the pumpkin. I got a little out of hand. At one point, I did the phones. Yeah, so...
It's like an 80s grandma house.
Yeah, I got pretty weird with it. An 80s grandma house. Yeah. And then we also have Legion of Superhero rings. They will be going to first people who buy Legions of Superhero and then to regulars. Yeah. So if you're a regular, if you're watching this YouTube, you're a regular, so come get one. You know who you are. And then we're going to get to all of our books. Do we have to talk about anything else right now?
Blood Gods?
Blood Gods! Blood Gods! Sadly, there is no Blood God news this week. I'm sorry. There's not... Well... Maybe there's mention of a Blood God. Blood God! In Savage Adventures. I don't know. We'll get to it.
Okay.
So maybe. Okay.
All right.
So let's jump right into it. And we're doing our new format. We're going to do half the books are just going to be plain reviews, and then the other half we're just going to be Fast and Furious plus review if it's a go or no-go, and then just a quick one-line synopsis. So Green Lantern Blackstars, this is, well, we found out in the last issue that the Blackstars had captured Hal Jordan and they were going to completely reform the universe so that the Green Lanterns didn't exist and the Blackstars took their place. The Blackstars are way, way more ruthless, and it's evidenced in this. They're serving a controller called, I think his name is Mu the Controller. And now, if you don't know the controllers, I wouldn't be surprised. Unless you're like really, really deep into Lantern mythos, you probably don't know those characters. I do because I love Lantern mythos. So the controllers are an offshoot of the Guardians, and they're a little taller and a little less blue. And they went and made the Orange Lantern Corps is one of their creations. So good old Larflee's power set comes from the controllers. Anyways, so leading the Black Stars is a controller named Mu, and Wu or Mu, one or the other. Anyway, so they're sort of building a planet in this, and on top of that, there's the basic leader of the Black Stars is this lady right here. She is a vampire, a space vampire of sorts, and she just up and declares, and Hal is calling himself Parallax.
Of course.
Yeah. And she just up and declares that her and Parallax are going to tie the knot. Oh. Yeah, so, yeah, a little bit of forced marriage there. But the whole universe has changed around him. Nobody, even the former Lantern Corps members are on the Black Stars, but they don't remember the Green Lantern Corps, and they're way more ruthless. Everyone is more ruthless except Hal. He's the only one. Even though he's calling himself Parallax, I know. He's not ruthless. As ruthless, anyways. I don't know. I'm excited to see this. More importantly, granted it's Grant Morrison, but this is also Zermanico and Olaf, which it's not that artist that I wasn't a giant fan of. It's a different artist, and I love the art. I really love the art. Like that was what is it, a 180? A 180 flip from me. So I loved it. I love the story. I want to know more about these Black Star characters. I want to see this play out. But eventually I want my Lantern Corps back because I love them. But that's pretty good. I'd say if you're a DC fan, go pick that up. Next is Doctor Doom. This is issue number 2. The last issue, Doctor Doom was framed. Somebody had launched missiles into the moon where they were setting up a controlled black hole to deal with Earth's resource problems. And unfortunately, that got pretty much messed up. And everybody blames Doom because the missiles came from Latveria, but he didn't do it. So he's been framed. So he's pretty much man on the run, gotta solve the case and save his own skin. I liked it. I had a really, really good time with this. Not much has changed. There's less Doom insults in this one. He doesn't call anyone a picnic ant. So less Doom insults is I like it a little less, but I still had a really good time with this. If you're a Marvel fan and you're not on board with this Doctor Doom, I don't know. I think you should be. If you even remotely like villains or anti-heroes, you will love this. Go pick it up. Next is Year of the Villain, and it says Legion of Doom. This League, and we have these lovely colors. What are these called? Acetate.
Yeah.
the acetate colors, covers, which reveal stuff as you remove it. That one's got Perpetua. Let me tell you, this Justice League, my God, it's almost a perfect book. I had such a good time with this. Granted, I love everything that Scott Snyder is doing, but this Justice League in particular was a really, really good read. Justice League has pretty much lost the war to Doom, and they're sort of scrambling, trying to figure something out. Anti-Monitor has been turned back to old bulbous, mean Anti-Monitor, and Perpetua is about to reform the worlds. And you really, really should go see this one, because how many universes are there in the DC universe? Supposed to be 52. That might be changing with this issue, so it's pretty important. I would say go pick this one up in particular. It's great, and more importantly, I think it's a collector's piece with this acetate cover. So yeah, $3.99. You really can't go wrong here. Next is Young Justice, and oh God, that cover with Naomi on the cover is so good. I was so happy for it. Does that mean Naomi's in most of the issue? Well, no. She comes in the end. I'm sorry, a little bit of a spoiler. I will tell you other things. You do know that Tim Drake as Red Robin was about to go through some changes. It happens in this issue, for better or worse. I think a lot of us fans took a look at that costume that they were going to put him in and went, ew. And yeah, that was my exact take from this. On top of that, Ginny Hex. We finally flesh out Ginny Hex and what that trunk had to do with her origin. And it's awesome. I had a great time. But I love anything Ginny Hex. Like, she's very blunt and to the point, and she's an amazing character. So, yeah, this Young Justice, I'd say this is a must-buy if you're a DC fan. It was great. Next is Absolute Carnage Weapon Plus. And if you can't tell from that cover, that's old Weapon H. Now, I hate that character. I can't stand him. I don't understand how Hulk Wolverine MASH sort of works out. I don't understand how their skeletal structure does it. I don't like the character. God, I almost choked on my own words there. Because I'm gonna choke on my own words here and say that I had a really, really good time with this book. I really did. As much as I hate the Hulk Wolverine's character, I loved this comic. It was amazing. I had a fun time with it. Carnage belts out. Hulk Wolverine belts out. And more importantly, we get a little bit of the Weapon V team that we had seen in the Web of Venom stuff. A newer team, but still the Weapon V team. So go check this out. It was awesome. I had a really, really good time with this book. Next is BB Free, and this is a #1 from Boombox. And, well, I don't know really how to describe this book. It's sort of it takes place in a I can't say dystopian. It takes place in a future Earth where things are more, I guess, earthy, overgrown. And Florida is one of the fractured states, they're calling it. And, yeah, people tend to live in swamps and stuff like that. It's a weird sort of, I don't want to say dystopian. Maybe there was an apocalypse. It's not fully explained. But the character BB Free, she lives, there's some magic in play, and she sort of lives at a time where she wants to, be a radio show host and share music with the world. And her dad doesn't want her to do that. He wants her to be more down to earth. And, we know this sort of dance. We've seen it before. But it was a really interesting read. I had a good time with it. I liked the art. The art was great. This is by Gabby Rivera and Royal Dunlap. Go check this out if you even think you might be interested in this sort of thing. Granted, I don't think I'm the target audience. I think if I was a young girl, I would have loved this story. But as a middle-aged man, it seems like it's not my jam, but I didn't hate it. Next is Savage Avengers, issue #7, and this is, of course, Jerry Duggan, Zerker, Tartaglia. I have the worst times with names. I'm sorry. This centers around Conan, and, we know Brother Voodoo got separated from the team and went after that evil sorcerer that summoned a Blood God! Okay, so we get a little bit of Brother Voodoo in the story, but then it cuts back to Conan, and more importantly, we might be looking at Conan hanging out in a certain country that has a certain dictator.
What? Not the one you tell me you're going to Doctor Doom?
It may be. maybe.
Oh god.
So, and
Okay.
believe it or not, I really loved it. I love the writing, but you wouldn't think that Doom would get Conan so much, and he totally does. He 100% does, and it was great. So I'm sorry, a little bit of spoiler, but you got to go check this out. It's a really, really good read. It's awesome. I had a good time with it. Savage Avengers, go pick it up. It's a must-buy for Marvel this week. Next is Legion of Superheroes, issue number 1. Now, I've been kind of loose on the spoilers this week, and I'm sorry, but we can't talk about number 1s without spoiling a lot of the book, so I have to dive a little deeper in this. So this takes place, 3,000 BC, I think it is? 1,000 years in the future? This takes place 1,000 years in the future, and they brought Superboy through Jonathan Kent to sort of team up with the Legion of Superheroes. And that's where we got these rings. And they all have rings, and they do have their sort of different mythos, and it's kind of cool. The Earth has been through a cataclysm, so a lot of the cities are divided into these domes and stuff like that, which does freak out Jonathan Kent a bit, because domes and cities are not his jam. Kryptonians wouldn't like it. Yeah, no, for good reason. So that was kind of cool. It's nice that the writing went there. But more importantly, the art is, oh my god, it's to die for. There is a scene where they're time traveling, and it's like Saturn Girl is sort of communicating with Jonathan Kent, and it's really, really cool looking. I love the art from this book. I honestly had a really, really good time with it. So Legion of Superheroes, I'd say, again, it's a number 1. So if you're a DC fan, it's probably a must-buy this week. That's the 31st Adventures. This is Bendis, Sook, Von Graubedger, and Belair. So come pick this up. Next is a book. Well, it's like a Family Guy episode.
Up Santa.
Well, Ace, that's what I want you boys to find out.
Someone stole Santa? That does not rock.
Easy, Gene. Guys, let's go save Christmas. To the Kiss Copter.
Yay!
And that is Kiss Zombies. So, I know you've heard this sort of scenario before, dystopian, apocalyptic, zombie apocalypse. The people are living in fear of the zombies, and one of the tribal leaders sort of sets up his son for a sacrifice to the zombies, and the son doesn't want to be sacrificed, so he starts singing songs of strength. I wanna rock and roll. It was hysterical. And so, you know, they have legends of Kiss, and of course, Kiss is gonna show up and probably save the day from the zombies. But I granted, it very much seems like a Family Guy. I don't know, what do you call those, one-off skits or so, sort of. It seems like that. It was great. I had a really good time. I laughed the whole way through. I didn't hate it one bit, even though it's clearly, it's definitely a gimmick. It worked. I had a good time. The art was okay. The art was okay. I will say that. It didn't blow my mind. I didn't hate it. It was okay. But this is by Dynamite, and this is $3.99. This is Ethan Sachs and Rodney Buscemi. Come pick this up if you like Kiss or zombies or weird Family Guy stuff. Next is Miles Morales, Spider-Man, and this, of course, is Saladin Ahmed, Javier Garn, David Curiel, and yeah, so the last issue we actually found Miles stumbling onto his Uncle Aaron, who is Prowler, trying to assassinate a mob boss, and that's where this one picks up. And, well, it seems the Prowler has kind of gotten into some deep pockets the last time he tried to save Miles. He had to go deep into the underworld, and because of that, he's got to pull off a few jobs, and if he fails, it puts a target on its back. Now, I'm spoiling a bit of this, but you need to know something. What they're doing with Miles right now is kind of pinnacle and cool. Now, if you know the Spider-Man mythos, you know there are always those stories where Spider-Man kind of has to run a gauntlet at times to deal with a whole bunch of stuff, and he's low on web, maybe he's injured, and that's always been Spidey's thing. Well, Miles is taking a stab at it right now. It's going to be Miles' thing for the next couple of issues, and I loved it. It has that exact desperation feel that I love from the old Peter Parker stories when I was growing up, and so this, you need to see it. It's good. It's a setup. It's awesome, and I think something really cool is going to come of this. So come pick this up, issue number 12. Definitely. Must buy if you're a Marvel fan. Next is No One Left to Fight, and this is the DBZ story that isn't DBZ. It is very clearly inspired by Dragon Ball Z. They know what they're referencing, and this one, what do you think they were building to? What, if you know DBZ, what are they probably building to the characters doing?
Probably a big battle between Cell or something.
Something like that, but what do you think the characters are going to do?
Power up?
Yeah, probably, right?
Yeah.
So it's been 5 issues. You might get that in this issue, and it was really cool, if I'm honest. So yeah, I spoiled it, but it was really cool. It was how it should be, but a little bit more. The art is really ridiculously cool. It's weird to say that, you know, My Hero Academia is like a Japanese take on American superheroes, and this is an American take on Japanese superheroes. Which, it's great. It really works out. The art is so good, though. I mean, the art alone is definitely a reason to buy this. So anyways, issue 5, No One Left to Fight. Come pick this up while we still have copies. The next book on our list is, well, it's amazing. It's Deadly Class, and, you know, I haven't hidden that I really love the writing of this, but the narrative for this issue in particular was... It was pretty profound. So Saya is back. She is back with King's Dominion. She's back at the assassin school. Meanwhile, she's, you know, she's kind of ruffled some feathers to get back there. She did technically save Marcus and risk the whole assassin school being found out. So that puts her at odds with Master Lin, and he makes her a rat. So she is about as low on the totem pole as you can be. She's gonna have to kill to climb her way up. And it's awesome. It's Marcus is back. He's Mr. Popular. Meanwhile, it sort of puts him at odds, like, do I accept my old friend or do I stay the serpent and, you know, leave them to their own so that they don't drag me down? And yeah, that's what we want out of this story. There's so much tension. So issue number 41 of Deadly Class. This is awesome, amazing, outstanding. Go buy it. More importantly, if you want to jump in on Deadly Class, this is a pretty good issue to do that on. So yeah, we'll have that. Next is New Mutants number 1. And well, there's a lot to unpack from this. So I do like the mutants that they have in play. They do have one guy who he can turn himself into a very earthly sort of guy, and he's, well, earthy and planty and that sort of thing. What do you think he does? What is the wildest thing you could do with mutant?
Summon a blood god?
No, no blood god. But he does plant one of the flowers of Krakoa inside him.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, so, you know, walking portal. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I would have never thought of such a thing. So anyways, they're going to go hang out on the Starjammer with good old Scott Summers' dad. What's Scott Summers' dad's name? Do you remember? I can't remember. But they're going to go hang out with him in space. So New Mutants is the space branch, I guess you could say, of the X-Men book. So it's wild, it's good. Hickman wrote it. I had a great time with it. I definitely didn't hate it. The art was so-so. Again, I don't think there's not a lot of stuff that seems to compare to the artist. What was his name? Larez, that did House of X and House of X, which was absurdly cool. But Brisson is pretty darn good, and Reyes too. The art, there was nothing to complain about at all. It was really, really beautiful art. I think that yardstick is always going to be compared to House of X. So, at any rate, but New Mutants number 1, we've got a few copies. People have already subbed, so get in early if you want to get some of these. Next is Transformers, and my God, this is still Game of Thrones with robots. That's what this Transformers run is. It's so wild. We've got Bumblebee running around with a Decepticon symbol, maybe getting played by Soundwave and Megatron, maybe, like, playing them. We don't know. We don't know. There's so much intrigue in this storyline. It's great. So if you love Transformers and you love that sort of wildness and you want to see the birth of the Decepticons, this is it. And it's awesome. It's really, really cool. Anyways, Transformer issue number 14. Come pick this up. Next is Amazing Spider-Man issue number 33. If you can't tell from the cover, this sort of centers around Spider-Man 2099. Part of it anyways. Part of it does. The rest of it centers around Spidey sort of trying to find his way in the future and sort of trying to track down Spider-Man 2099. I think. I think that's what's going on. I don't think it's a good jumping off point because I was a little confused. I did read the last issue, but I don't remember the last issue. So anyways, that said, if you like Miguel and you like Spider-Man 2099, this is absolutely your jam. And if you're a Spider-Man fan, this is 100% good stuff. But issue number 33, this is Spencer Gleason and Wilson. Come pick this up. Next is, well, it's a book I'm so happy every time I get to review it. This is Duggan, McCree, Spicer, and Sabino, and that's Dead Eyes, issue number 2. Oh, yeah. Not to be confused with Dead Rabbit, which is now dead. Pour it out. What is this? Well, the last time before the Dead Rabbit lawsuit, we got issue 1 and issue 2, and they both got recalled, and that was all we knew. This is the second issue. So the second issue of Dead Eyes, Dead Rabbit, pretty much centers around him having to take a job to get himself out of debt to pay for his wife's medical bills. His wife gets hospitalized again, so he's forced to act quick and rob a bank, and the job goes literally as bad as it could ever go. It's great. Oh my god. It's literally a train wreck. Yeah. Quite literally a train wreck at one point. You need to see it. I honestly, there are some really great writers, I believe, in this world that can write, like, weave a story where, you know, it's an awesome story and then all at once it just falls apart and goes wrong in a billion different ways. And Duggan is one of them. It was awesome. I had a really good time with it. It's the second time I've read it, and I had a really good time with it, so come pick it up. Next is The Magicians, issue number 1, and, well, there's a lot to unpack here. Now, if you watch The Magicians TV show, you should know that some of the characters are a little different from the book character. I believe Margot is called Janice in the book. Some of the characters don't quite look how they're described. Elliot is a bit more teethy. Dean Fogg does not look like Dean Fogg in the TV show, which I think is a bit of a missed opportunity because Dean Fogg in the TV show was very stoic, and I liked him as that character, even though I don't feel like he looked like his character. I love that character. But they do have a character that's very much like that character that is a hedge witch teacher. And what we find out at the beginning of the book is that, well, old Breakbills, which is the Magician Academy, which is a private academy, has decided to accept some hedge witches, a class of hedge witches. And they're going to be training. We don't know really what for, but they're going to be training. They have different training. They don't quite understand the basics of magic, but their grasp is different. And the hopes is that they can teach Breakbills stuff, and Breakbills can teach them stuff. And it's cool. It's really cool. One of them even rolls around with like a glowing, floating D10, which I thought was an awesome effect, although missed opportunity not making it a D20, in my personal opinion. But nonetheless, The Magicians, issue number 1, go figure, it's written by Lev Grossman. This is Grossman, Sturgis, Bach, and Casada. This was amazing. As a Magicians fan, this is exactly what I wanted. Plus, there's a lot of intrigue. I didn't expect, because hedge witches have different magic sets, and they don't do things proper, and that's quite cool. And they use the art in this book. The way they do it is so awesome. It's very psychedelic. They break some boundaries. They break the frames at times. It was great. I loved it. Next is Immortal Hulk, issue 26. This is after good old Immortal Hulk and Bruce Banner have ascended the throne of Shadowbase, and they have revealed Shadowbase to the world. So now the whole world knows that there's a secret government organization that was being funded billions of dollars to create weapons out of Hulk. And I don't think that's going to sit well with the world, and that's pretty much his goal. But the underlying message has been that the Devil Hulk does not feel that, the Devil Hulk is tied to the One Below All. He does not feel that mankind deserves the world the way it is. He feels like it's twisted, and he wants to end it. And so he's trying to get people behind him and trying to get people to back him. And now he's got a highly funded secret government organization behind him. That's kind of scary. So yeah, go pick this one up. Actually, that wasn't the last issue, though. The last issue wasn't him ascending Shadowbase. The last issue was it wasn't Worldbreaker. The Breaker of Worlds, which was like 2 billion years in the future. And it was very psychedelic and cool. But yeah, so issue number 26, this picks up after the main story, and it's awesome. Had a great time. There's nothing to complain about here. You know, this art is just absurdly cool. Ewing, Bennett, Jose, and Mounts. The art is cool. The writing is just outstanding. Stellar writing. Had a really good time with this. More importantly, we get to see their take on Amadeus Cho, which I wanted to see. He's in this issue, because we'll go check it out.
Nice.
Yeah. Next is, oh man. Man. Deep breath.
Okay. Here we
Deep
go.
breath. Because as a Batman fan, this was almost everything I wanted out of this issue. And that is the Acetate issue. Oh, look at that. Oh, who's pulling the strings? It's old Thomas Wayne. This is City of Bane, so this is Batman issue number 82. 80 Deuce, which I was 82nd. Had a great time with this. This is everything we've been building towards, and I loved it. And of course, the tension's going to hang for a couple more issues, but oh my god, it was awesome. So if you want the big fight between Bane and Batman, you definitely get it in this issue. It's awesome. And it doesn't quite end how you expect. It doesn't quite play out how you expect. I mean, Batman has been pushed around pretty damn hard this year, and it's about time he pushes back, and he might do it a little out of character, and that's all I'm going to say on that. It's awesome. As a Batman fan, this is everything I wanted. If you're a Batman fan, go pick this up. If you're a DC fan, go pick this up. If you're going to jump in, maybe don't jump in on this issue. Go back a few issues. But yeah, it was really, really awesome. Next is Ghost Rider versus Ghost Rider, and this is Breeson, Cooter, and Keith, issue number 2. And, well, okay, let's break this down. Johnny Blaze is the king of hell. He's out of hell currently and trying to find demons to condemn them back to hell where they've escaped. Unfortunately, the demons have taken residents and other human souls, and in doing that, they send the other soul to hell, and they sort of condemn and ruin the person's life, and that's what they do. They're tired of hanging out in hell. They want to get out of there. So Johnny Blaze can see the demons. Now the problem is Danny Ketch cannot. And Johnny Blaze is actually he's sent one of the demons to hell that was Danny Ketch's buddies, who was hanging out in his bar and stuff like that. So that puts him on the nastiest of collision courses. Now when I was younger, I really loved the Danny Ketch motorcycle. As cheesy as it looks, I loved it. So it's nice to see him back in the mix. Granted, we've seen him in a couple of small things. But, man, a Ghost Rider fight is awesome. But more importantly, it really, really does set the stage. Johnny Blaze can absolutely see all these demons, and Danny Ketch can't. So Johnny Blaze is conversing with them and sending them back to hell, and all Danny Ketch sees is Johnny Blaze hurting people. So, yeah, that's a problem, and I can't wait to see how it works out. It's probably going to end with something cheesy, though, like, oh, give him the penance stare and see if you can see. And then, oh, it's a demon. Oh, like, please don't do that. Please don't be that obvious. I'm sure there's no writer seeing this, but please don't do that. Anyways, Brisson, Cooter, and Keith, come pick this up. It was great. The art was amazing, honestly. This is Ghost Rider art, and you know what you get, a lot of flames and bone. Next is Crone, issue number 1. And, well, what do you do after all the blood gods have been vanquished and you're Red Sonja? Well, I guess you get old and crotchety, because that's what this is. This is basically Red Sonja has gotten old, even though it's not Red Sonja. She's gotten old and she's tired of life. So everything she encounters, she's like, is this the day I die? Oh, damn, it's not. Like, she encounters a bear, and she's like, oh, this is probably the day I die. I can't wait. And then she kills the bear, and she's like, nuts. It's great. This is awesome. This is an old warrior that has just lived too long, and as a soldier, I can empathize with that. I think Yogi can empathize with that, too. So it was great. She's salty, she's grizzled, she's cynical. It's wonderful. So Crone by Dark Horse Comics. Didn't know I wanted this comic. It was awesome. Issue number 1. Come pick it up. Next is Yondu number 1. And, well, there's a lot to unpack here. There is a Yondu in this that sort of looks old school, but is actually not old school. It's one of his progeny from the future that has come back. And Yondu himself is... I guess, the ancestor to him. And the guy meets him, and the guy has come to help him and be honorable and everything else like that. And he's upset at Yondu for casting off his ways. And Yondu doesn't give a crap. He doesn't care what it is. He's got something. He finds a score. He's going to sell a score. That's it. You can't talk him out of it. And that's sort of what it's saying. It's sort of the old meets new, but the old is actually from the future. It's weird, but it's good. I had a really good time with it. The art was so-so at times. It wasn't my best. It's gritty enough for a space story, a sci-fi story, I think. And but the Yondu in it is the Yondu that we all love. And if you love that sort of grizzled space pirate thing, you will absolutely have a good time with this. And that's Thompson, Nadler, McCree. Oh, McCree's on this one too. And Spicer's on this one. So the Deadeyes team is on this book. It's a really, really good showing. Go check it out. Issue number 1. Had a great time. Come pick it up. Next is Fantastic Four Point of Origin. This is a nice damaged copy we got from Diamond. Gosh darn it. I don't think this was UPS's fault, right? Mm-hmm. But this takes place... basically, they're out in space, and they've found another world, and on that world, they find out that Johnny Storm has been bound to be married to another girl there who's got wings, she's developed through cosmic radiation. And you come to find out in this story, there's a reason for that. Maybe Reed has accidentally caused this reason, but they don't know. And it's the typical, the family is sort of dealing with stuff in outer space that they don't quite understand, that they're trying to accomplish without getting killed, and it's great. More importantly, Ben Grimm is just punching a bunch of mutants in this, and I have nothing to complain about. That's exactly what I want from the thing. So it was a great read. Honestly, this was one of the... I had more fun with this particular issue than I have the last couple of issues. So come pick this up. And this is, of course, Dan Slott, Sean Azaxi, and Marcia Menez. Issue number 16, Fantastic Four. Come pick this up. It was great. Lastly on our slow list, then we're going to do our fast list after. This is X-Force, issue number 1. I actually almost didn't notice this book and read it kind of at the last minute. So if you don't know, the X-Force team is sort of supposed to be, X-Men CIA, I guess it is. Their Secret Service branch that gets stuff done. It sort of opens with them coming to grips that Krakoa might have some predators on it and some creepy things on it, and really that just sort of serves as foreshadowing, where Wolverine is like, well, if you're not watching for them, you grow soft type thing, and then something happens to the island, and even though mutants have been totally generous, humankind is still gonna lash out. We all know that. This is the X-Men trope. It's gonna happen. So you need to read it, find out. Had an awesome time. There is so much to unpack. Every single one of these kind of issues, they reveal more about the Krakoan island, and this one's no different. They actually had a bunch of mutants like in a healing area, and the way it works is they're like laying on stone pedestals, and there's like parts of the island growing into them, like healing them, which is weird and cool. Like, it was really, really awesome. So Benjamin Percy, Joshua Cassera, and Dean White knocked it out of the park with X-Force number 1. I want to know so much more about this team. Granted, there is a Marauders scene in it, and I think if you throw Kitty Pryde on a pirate ship in any of your books, it automatically appeals to me. It's just awesome. So now we'll do the fast list. Okay, we're going to do the fast list. Oh, it's right set up. Perfect. So fast list. Let's go down this list. First book on our list is Addams Family. I would say this is a buy if you're an Addams Family fan. If you're anyone else, it's totally skippable. Granted, it was kind of cool. Wednesday finds a teen magazine, an average teen magazine, and then applies her own logic to it. And that was pretty funny to see, I think. So, yeah, go check it out. Inferior 5. This series has been really weird, and the art I've been very much on the fence with. However, Starro. Anything with the big blue starfish tends to sell me. So if you're like me, go pick it up. Anyone else, you can skip it. King Shazam, and this is the Infected King Shazam number 1. It was okay. There's a lot of action in it. It's Shazam Infected. You know what you're getting with that. More importantly, we might see somebody else in the Shazam family fall. Think of the second in command. You might know who it is. but it was actually it was an okay read. I would say if you're a Marvel fan, definitely don't choose this as the DC book that you jump in on. And if you're a DC fan who hasn't been following Shazam, don't start with this one. Next is Genlock. This is, well, it's Power Rangers meets Gundam in the Marvel Universe. That's what you get. I didn't hate it. The art was really, really good. The story was a little weird. There's some politics at play. Not enough action, I think. But I didn't hate it. So anyways, Genlock number 1. Is this Rooster Teeth? That says Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Rooster Teeth book. I haven't... Is there a Genlock TV show?
Yeah.
I've never seen the Genlock anime, so I don't know. That's probably why I'm missing part of this. But I liked it. It was kind of cool. I want to know more. Next is Web of Venom. Whoa, sorry, Web of Venom. Web of Black Widow. It's another web from a Marvel character. Kind of cool. More than one Black Widow sort of team up on this, and they got to get some stuff done, and they're trying to find, Black Widow's doppelganger. It's pretty cool. It's a good spy thriller. There's a lot of spy stuff in this, so go check it out. You're the Villain, Harley Quinn. That's the cover. It's Acetate. The Acetate is cool. The story was not so cool. It was only okay at best. Granted, it's sort of a holiday thing. They're doing the Thanksgiving without Harley's mom this time, which was a little touching, but also not that fun. I don't know. As a DC fan, I can't really recommend this particular issue all that much. Sorry. Next is... we should have been doing Go or No Go. Mm-hmm. I've been skipping Go this whole time. Back up.
Oh.
We're going to back up. No, we're fine. We'll just back up real fast. I'm tired, guys. Sorry, I'm messing stuff up. Addams Family, go if you're an Addams Family fan. Inferior 5, go if you like Starro. King Shazam, go only if you really like Shazam. Genlock, go if you need manga Power Rangers. Web of Black Widow, go if you like spy stuff. Harley,
Good collector piece?
good collector piece. Go if you like the cover. Sorry. Spider-Man Double Trouble. This is it's essentially a Saturday morning cartoon. Go if you like Saturday morning cartoons. That's what it is. It's a Saturday morning Venom Spider-Man cartoon. Nothing else. If you're an adult, it's probably not your jam. Next is Black Cat. Go. This was awesome. This is Black Cat doing date night. It was fun. It was awkward at times. It was hysterical. Had a good time. Superman Up in the Sky. If you love Tom King's writing like I do, go. It was awesome. I want him to write more Superman. Red Sonja, issue number 10. No go. No go. Not that fun this week. Sorry. Wonder Twins. Go if you like the Wonder Twins. It's just fleshing out more of their story. It's kind of cool. It's been a fun run. Dr. Aphra. Go if you like Dr. Aphra or good Star Wars stories or like seeing the evil droids in play again. It's awesome. Dragonfly and Dragonfly Man. If you, what was it called? Wrong Earth?
Wrong Earth, yeah.
If you liked Wrong Earth, go. If you're anyone else, you could maybe go and start with this. It was an okay story. The quick synopsis is it's two Batmans, the gritty Batman and the Adam West Batman. And it's the two different worlds, and they cross over at times. Crescent and Io. It's an origin story about a kid superhero that has a giant bear thing. It was okay. I don't know how to rate it. Go or no go? I don't think it was written for me. No go if you're a middle-aged man. Go if you're a young gal. Or just want a new hero. You could go if you want a new hero. Yeah. Swordmaster. God, I have to rethink about this.
That sounds like a no-go.
It's this is a hard one. Maybe I should have had this in the other.
50-50?
There is some cool stuff with Doctor Strange in this story, but not a lot is accomplished. It's weird. It's a weird story. I don't know. If you've been following Swordmaster, it's a go. If you're anyone else, don't start with this book. That's a no-go. Good?
Good.
Okay, good. Awesome. If you're a Lock and Key fan, absolutely a go. Teen Titans, go. If you like Teen Titans, go.
Go, Teen Titans.
Go Teen Titans. Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, drawing.
Go
Let's
ahead.
do a drawing.
All right.
All right. First number is 6d8. Oh. 68.
Genesis and Molina.
Genesis, Ed Molino. I haven't seen him in a minute. 71.
Andre Scott.
Andre Scott. Oh, that's nice. Andre's a good customer. Andre Scott. And the last one is right here. 30.
Wow, all the low numbers.
It's going to be Cam, watch.
Nate Wiltron.
Okay, Nate Wiltron.
All right.
So that's our winners for this week, and that's our show for this week. We'll see you next week.